and welcome to another episode of Wild Mouse. I am your host, Taylor Bartle, and we've got something new and interesting today. So we're going to have two different guests on today, and they're going to be talking about a ride, and they're going to kind of debate whether or not the ride is actually good. So please welcome to the show, first, making his third appearance, making him officially a Wild Mouse All-Star, from the Underrated Movie Podcast, Derick McDuff.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's been a while since I've been an all-star at anything.
Hey, no, you're an all-star. Get your game on.
I'll go.
Okay.
And the other voice you hear is from the Old SwitchAroo podcast. It's not Mike Lund today. It's his co-host, Jaymo.
Hey, Taylor. Thank you so much for having me. I was getting some pretty hard FOMO about the Wild Mouse podcast. I gotta say, I think I have completed your podcast to my level of comfort, which is that I don't feel like listening to episodes about rides I haven't been on. I think only a sociopath would do that, right? So I think I've listened to every episode for every ride you've done that I've ridden, and it's such a good time. I love your podcast.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I record episodes on rides I've never been on, so...
Who the hell would do that?
Including today's ride, which takes us to Universal Studios and, in the case of Florida, Epic Universe, to talk about Mario Kart, Bowser's Q. That's not right. Bowser's Challenge.
Q. I mean, that too.
Yeah, Bowser's Q, the actual attraction, the fun part of the ride.
Oh my god, this guy, curmudgeon already.
So obviously you can tell who's going to be debating what here. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about kind of the history of this ride. It's obviously a new ride. It's not been around very long. It is located, like I said, in Hollywood and in Epic Universe in Florida, as well as in Universal Studios Japan, which is actually where it opened first on March 18th, 2021. It opened here in the States in Hollywood first in February 17th, 2023. And then finally Epic Universe, part of its entire grand opening on May 22nd, 2025. Do you guys know anything about the differences between the three rides? Is there much, if you know at all?
So that leads me to my first question. Okay. Derick is going to be trying to spread fake news this whole episode and act like this ride isn't really cool.
It's not.
And it's okay. I mean, you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
You told me to come on this show and talk bad about it.
Yeah, because I'm going to win you over. Like, I'm going to get you. So when we're critiquing the rides and the differences, are we going to talk about the overall land that surrounds it as well, Taylor?
No.
Okay.
I think we're focusing mostly on the ride itself. I think we'll talk about a little bit about like Super Nintendo World, but as far as the debate portion goes, I think we're just going to stick to the ride itself.
Shit. Okay. No, that's okay.
Well, to answer your question, Taylor, I think they are pretty much clones of each other. I think they are basically the same ride at all three versions.
Yeah. And, even the exterior is kind of modeled similarly. But I also think that kind of speaks to the confidence in the ride itself, because you said the first one came out 2021. Did I hear you right?
Yeah, the one in Japan.
So then, they're still releasing this version of the ride 5 years later at their brand new one. I feel like if the ride was
5 whole years, it's lasted that long. Wow, what incredible longevity for a ride.
Okay, but listen, smartass, though. If the ride was actually bad, they'd make it better in the next version. So, like, maybe you're the...
Well, I don't know how... If that is the case, if it was bad originally, and this is the improved one that we went on in Hollywood, I don't know what happened.
What happened to you? Where's your joy?
Who hurt you?
Yeah, who hurt you? Oh,
Bowser. It was Bowser.
Okay. Well, so just but we can talk about the exterior of this ride, right?
Yes, of course, yeah.
So even before you get on this thing, and you walk through the magical Nintendo land, and there's all these mini games and the Nintendo music and Mario suit or whatever, like this one has such a cool queue and such a cool entrance into the ride, because you can see Bowser's castle looming over all of this area of the park. And one real quick thing I want to say, Derek, hopefully you can agree to this.
Mm.
Can we just agree that the circumstances of this ride being built, we're not going to take out on it. We're not going to mention that like they destroyed one of the most important film studios of all time to build this thing, because that's not Mario's fault.
I was not going to bring it up, but yeah, no, you just mentioned that they're destroying history for this ride, but that's not something that I plan to mention. No, you're good.
Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have opened my big fat mouth. But anyway, though, to get into Bowser's castle, you actually go through a warp pipe that's set about maybe 10, 20 feet to the left. And then the queue takes you through a Yoshi Story area and like a Mario like underground area, and then through Bowser's castle itself. It's just like, it's really, really cool. And the whole queue is filled with like these screens, which we know Derek loves so much. But these screens are like, they're kind of pseudo 3D. They're like kind of layered through like some kind of mirror trick. So it looks like you're watching footage of like a Mario scene happening. And so it feels both video gamey, but also real. I don't know if that's making any sense. Derek, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. We were kind of looking at, there's like a little bomb assembly line thing that's happening, and you're seeing like the bomb being built in like 3 stages, and you see there's all these practical things, but then there's like a screen it almost looks like you can look into it. If you get close, it looks like almost like a holographic Pokemon card or something. And I do really agree with what you're saying here, Jaymo, is that this queue is incredible. It's immaculate. There's so much cool stuff. It gets you so hyped for the ride. And then you go on the ride, and it is a massive disappointment.
Let's slow down here. We're getting too far ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Let's start by talking about just the exterior of the ride, because it's pretty impressive. Like,
yeah,
it's Bowser's castle. It's, a big brick castle with a giant metal Bowser face sticking out of it. Big giant red Bowser flags hanging off the turrets, and you enter through Bowser's mouth.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And as you're kind of making your way through the queue, because you first, like Jaymo said, you kind of go through like a Yoshi themed area. There's all these different kind of, like, even before you get to the main part of the queue, if you're there on like a summer day or a weekend or something, you go through the longer queue. A lot of the times those like extra portions are not that themed. Like, I was thinking of the Mummy ride, which we also did.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like outside, there's some vague Egyptian theming before you get to the cool stuff inside. Even the extended queue before you go into the actual castle is very awesome.
Yeah. And I think you taught me that like there's a Shigeru Miyamoto like signed mural of Bowser. There's this really cool Bowser statue that just kind of looms over the way the queue wraps around it. So you kind of are surrounding him as you go through it. There's recreations of the different trophies for like, the Leaf Cup and the Star Cup and all this iconography you've seen, not just in the Mario games, but in the Mario Kart games specifically. And they even released a trophy for this ride. It's a Universal Studios trophy that looks like it could be plucked right out of one of the games. You can even buy it in the gift shop. We'll get to that later, I'm sure. But it's just, it's kind of setting you up that like, this is really going to feel like Mario Kart. And so I really love the queue.
Yeah, I like that once you enter the castle, it's got like the big wooden door, like the big roll down door, whatever those kind of castle doors are called, the big gates, And then, you go up this long stairway, and right at the top of the stairway is this big, giant statue of Bowser in kind of his, trademark Bowser pose. And I also like all the light fixtures have like little Bowser horns.
Yeah, there are some really great details in it. That, like when you say the first thing you see is just this incredibly humongous, imposing statue of Bowser. But as you're making your way through, there's all these like cool little things. There's Easter eggs. Jaymo mentioned the trophies, which are the same exact trophies from the Mario Kart games, but now they're physical, they're real, along with that new one that they've mentioned that you're theoretically racing for. You see the little logos that when you would select the cup at the beginning of like playing Mario Kart, they're like these emblems on the wall, and you go through a library, and it just is filled with all these like books and Easter eggs, and King Boo is there and he's floating around. It is really, as you were saying, getting you hyped up to go on this ride. And as a longtime Mario fan, a longtime Nintendo fan, and I played Mario Kart so many hours with my brothers growing up, especially Double Dash and Wii. You feel like you're like in the game. You're getting very excited to go on this ride.
And then also, I think what it deserves some credit for is the instructional room. So you kind of get into this room with a bunch of, I guess, lockers. It's like you're in a NASCAR locker room. And so you see like the different costumes you can unlock in Mario Kart hanging on the wall. It's like, oh, there's the Tanuki suit. Oh, and there's Princess Peach's, off-roading, outfit or whatever it might be. And then on the opposite wall of that, you have the tutorial, which is entirely wordless. It's all just context clues and nonverbal demonstrations using, little drawings of like Mii's, like from the Nintendo Wii era, kind of teaching you how to play the ride. And I say play the ride because I think regardless of whether or not you like this ride, Derek, I think you have to admit that there's an attempted interactivity and gamification of this ride that is kind of unprecedented.
I would say there is an attempt at gamification. I don't know that I would say it's unprecedented. I can definitely point to some other rides that have done things similarly and better.
Like what?
Like Toy Story Midway Mayhem. That's
please.
Or
okay.
Astro Blasters is more of a fun gamified ride, and that ride is from 2005 or whatever.
Okay, but so as you can tell from Derek, right? It is as you're going through the ride. Are we getting to the ride, Taylor? Sorry,
Jaymo loves skipping ahead.
We're swinging.
I'm still in the queue. I don't know what you guys ran ahead.
All right. Hold on. We're waiting for you.
I like that when you see the Universal Studios trophy that you were talking about, there's actually a note from Bowser that says, "Hey Mario, I challenge you to a race. Come to my castle and don't chicken out. Gwahahaha."
Very nice touch.
Gwahaha is an interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that laugh, but
that's the Bowser laugh. Who's
you gotta start with a ghoul.
And he just has a stamp too. He doesn't even sign his name. He just stamps it.
Yeah,
with his little logo.
Very regal.
Okay, the library area. You said there's a lot of Easter eggs here, but you can't just say there's a lot of Easter eggs and then not say what they are. Like, there's like a terrarium, I guess you would say, that's like all has, Koopas and Womps and Bob-ombs and all kinds of little cartoony Mario characters in it.
Yeah, and like some of the Easter eggs Derek was alluding to is that there is like sort of a diorama that's kind of looks like a Paper Mario kind of diorama, but in the sense that it actually looks like paper craft. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool. There are these like books on the bookshelves that have some kind of fun cheeky titles. So like
3 books on lava.
Yeah, well, it's a Bowser library.
And then I see map of Toad Harbor, Tadpole Bay.
Right.
There's some encyclopedias. For some reason, they have 3 copies of volumes 1 and 2 for the encyclopedias, which is nice because I feel like that always happens, right? You have a set and then you lose some of them and you have to replace them, and you have the extra ones from the first set you got.
I think one of the cutest Easter eggs is, as my co-host found on the wall, there is a book that is Yoshi's Story. And Yoshi's Story is a game that takes place in a book. So it's like, oh, that's like, presumably the entire Yoshi Story universe sitting right there on the shelf. And then there's like a brief history of Moo Moo Meadows instead of a brief history of time. And I don't really get what the pun is there, but Moo Moo Meadows is my favorite Mario Kart track. And then like behind the bookshelves, there are more of these kind of 3D sort of screens. We kind of said it felt like, Taylor, did you ever mess with a 3DS?
No.
Okay, so it was this Nintendo handheld that was 3D with no glasses. It was something kind of like a lenticular screen. And so the eye perceived a depth even with no glasses on. And that's what these screens kind of feel like. And so, there will be a screen hidden behind the bookshelf so that little ghosts are actually flying in and out of the walls. And it just is this nice little bit of motion that makes every corner of the queue feel alive. And when you're in a queue like that, I think the time passes much nicer.
Yeah, an interactive queue is always appreciated for me. Like, I love the Indiana Jones queue. I love the Rise of the Resistance queue is unmatched. But yeah, just, giving you something to do and see and look at and experience while you're going through the queue, it does make the time go a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like the
10 out of
columns
10
in the
on the queue.
library. Yeah, I've heard rave reviews about the queue of this ride. I really like the columns in the library. It's like Bowser's claw holding up the ceiling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also see a crystal ball. I'm not sure what that's there for.
That would be Namek, wouldn't it?
Oh, is it? Because like I was thinking of like Boo in Mario Party when you would go to him and like he would steal a star or something.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
And then there's what looks like Bowser's throne with a picture of Princess Peach next to it.
Yeah, when we went, a little kid climbed in that thing, which you're not supposed to do. But like, but it's like, you know, I mean, as Mike said, I think the thing with you don't want to put like photo ops that would make you stop the line from moving. You know, so that's
Right.
probably why they don't want you to sit in the seat. But there's certainly space for it, and there's a little painting of Princess Peach, which I guess is meant to imply that he's saving it for her. But I've never known people to do that. Like if you're friend zoning, you know, if you got friend zoned, you just put paintings of the person you're pining for around your house to like save the spot for them. I don't know if you guys ever did that, but I didn't quite get that bad.
No, I've never done that. Unless he's just like he sits in that chair and, you know, stares longingly at the photo.
And that's all he does, I'm sure.
All right, this is a children's character. Let's keep it above board here.
I have nothing to add to that.
Good. Then you walk through like a furnace room.
Yeah, this is the Bob-omb factory.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can kind of
okay.
see that's where you have because I was just like looking at it, you see the one screen and it's like a bomb and he's getting kind of like polished off and like they stick the feet on and stuff.
He's getting what?
Anyway, moving on. Then you see the next screen, they put on his
I thought it too.
shoes. And there's like a third screen, so you don't really realize at first like what's happening. There's physical bombs and a little cart, so they're using the screens tastefully in a smaller way. And these are like the kind of ones that you were saying, Jaymo, you could kind of see into a little bit, like that look almost like that 3DS screen. They don't have like a full 3D effect, but they do have a little more depth than you would normally.
Yeah, and as you look from screen to screen, you see each stage of the construction of the Bob-omb. So it kind of, creates this assembly line, and and the very real implication that after the Bob-omb gets polished off, it'll explode soon. So it's just like it's so just me, okay, just me. But we also found we don't know if this is new for the Mario Galaxy because they did add things to the Universal Park to promote the new movie, and there is a diorama, I guess, or not a diorama. What's it called? The thing that hangs over a baby crib to make it. Is that a mobile?
A mobile, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a mobile that was themed to Super Mario Galaxy. So there was like one of the 360-degree like spherical planets, and then there was like one of the ships that you ride on in that one, and that was hanging above the Paper Mario papercraft. So I think this is the room of the queue in terms of like cool stuff to look at.
Yeah, and we did skip over to, like you mentioned it, but there is the portrait in there. It's like a portrait of Bowser, and unless you're looking for it, you won't notice it. But like you said, it is actually signed by Shigeru Miyamoto, which is a fact that I found out last time I went on this ride. And there was like a tour group in front of me, and the tour guide actually pointed it out. So if you look closely on the picture of Bowser, you can see a little scribble there in the corner that's his signature.
Pretty dope.
What are these like robot Koopa Troopa things? I don't think I've ever seen those before.
They're in the games.
Yeah, they're like the little wind-up guys you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they show up in various games, I feel like. They're like little wind-up Bowsers.
I think the first one was Super Mario World, which we covered on my show last season. But like they're kind of annoying because like they will get spawned over and over again. Whereas most Koopas, once you destroy them in the game, they're gone. Those ones will just keep reappearing from the same pipe, so it kind of adds a bit of tension.
Yeah, because they're you're seeing them getting built on the opposite side from the Bob-ombs.
Yeah.
There's like two like conveyor belts essentially happening, and they're on the opposite one.
Yeah, and then there's like a chalkboard that says production totals. It's like 54 Bob-ombs, 5 bullet bills, and then 20 of these robot guys.
That's what it says on there, robot guys? Okay.
You know what? It's Bowser's shopping list. He knows what he means.
That's the official term.
All right.
And then you walk up to this like bucket thing with a big gear and a chain over it, and this is where you pick up your Mario hat.
Mm-hmm.
The Mario hat, for people who don't know, is what gives you all the 3D and extra gamification stuff that we'll get into in a little bit. But
Yeah, it's kind
obviously,
of like
you need this.
if you imagine like a meta quest, but with the visor missing. So it's kind of like just the, you know, the thing you put over your head and then tighten in the back. And then you're essentially just wearing what feels like a plastic Mario visor. And then that visor will come into play for the actual gamification.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the like 3D part is at the end of the brim, right?
Well, so that's what's interesting is that the actual 3D screen is a special screen that projects an augmented reality image. So Mario Kart, or the Mario characters and the shells and the coins and all the 3D elements of a Mario Kart race that's not the track itself, those are appearing in front of you via this screen that you snap to the visor using magnets.
Yeah, it
Oh,
clips
okay.
in. It's kind of like a little click. Like you've got the adjustable headpiece, and then you have like this little visor that you kind of snap into place.
And the actual screen never detaches from the cart. So like the expensive tech is not being handed to people in the queue, and I think that's a pretty smart call.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good move.
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty clever way to like, okay, that's how this is gonna work. And I always like it when I see, you know, good ride design like that. Of like, okay, someone had a very practical problem and this was a really clever solution. And then also in the queue, you know, you're fiddling with your visor, you're getting a comfortable fit a good 5 minutes before you're gonna get on the ride. So it's not like people are, you know, oh, don't watch the car, I'm fiddling with my Mario hat. No, you've done all the adjusting already. By the time you get on the cart, the screen just snaps into place with a magnet and you're ready to play.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, we're all glasses wearers here. When it comes to like Star Tours or web slingers, like I have to wear the 3D glasses over my glasses, and that makes me queasy to like a degree that is few else comes to that. Like that and onions is like the only things that make me that sick.
Love onions. But I mean, I'd be curious to see your reaction to this because for me, I think it's better than most because the augmented reality screen is a couple of inches off of your glasses, so it doesn't have that annoying like glasses on glasses and like are these scratching my glasses? I always hate that feeling. So I don't know, Derek. What did you think? How do you do with 3D rides usually? Because I've never really had a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, you know, back when I was a kid, used to not be able to really watch Captain EO because the glasses just did not fit over my glasses. I mean, nowadays, they have figured, like, hey, maybe we make these things big enough so that people with glasses can actually wear them. So, you know, I don't really have problems with them across the board anymore. These ones, it's always a little bit awkward, you know, but like it's about the same as if I, you know, would go to see Avatar or something like that and put the 3D glasses over my glasses. You never really get, it's never as much of an issue as it used to be.
Yeah, but in this ride in particular, that wasn't an issue for you either.
Not really. I mean, but a little bit because I do have pretty, like, you know, I do have kind of Coke bottle glasses. You know,
They're really
I'm
stylish.
blind as a bat. So you know, I could feel them bumping up against my glasses a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the newer ones have kind of like the rim or the what's the part that goes around your head is kind of up higher, and so it doesn't like sit over your ears, and so it's not so bad. But you're still, like you said, putting glasses on glasses, and it's just a whole thing that we have to deal with. Okay, so
real.
it really is. So after you put on your Mario visor, you walk through with like a big control room looking area. Lots of screens here. There's like a this is the instructional video you were talking about.
Yeah, and there is some cool stuff in here. You know, you see the suits, and you like the first time I saw it, I was like, oh wow, these are like the actual same suits that they wore in the games. You know, there's cool little, like, every character kind of has like little Easter eggs with them. Like there's a Tanuki thing next to Mario. There's like a vacuum next to Luigi. Peach has her parasol. So you're like, you know, it's getting you hyped up. Then, you know, the idea is like, oh, you know, Bowser's, you know, they're kind of like Bowser is hijacking the screens, but then, you know, you get that little me tutorial, as Jaymo said. It's all wordless so that if, you know, somebody who doesn't speak English, you know, is watching this, or somebody who, is hearing impaired, anything like that, is they still get the instructions just as well as anybody else.
Okay, yeah, I see. It says look to aim, and then it just cut off. It said throw, but I don't know how to throw.
Yeah, so I think the way that this game controls is really, see, I said game. That's how much this feels like a game. The ride/game, it controls really, I think, in a way that I think is really innovative and sort of like intuitive. That's what I was looking for. Because you are controlling and earning points towards winning this race in essentially two ways. One is turning the wheel at the right time, so that you're turning the wheel in time with the ride's motion and earning coins that way. And you get this little yellow arrow effect when you turn with your timing, accurately. It's not like Autopia, though. Like, you're not actually affecting the path of the car. It's how well can you sync up with it. And the other way, the primary way you get points is by launching shells at targets that are part of the augmented reality world. And you aim those simply by looking at it, and the shell will fire wherever essentially your eyes are probably meeting.
See, Jaymo keeps jumping ahead, so I don't know if we need to go to the actual ride.
He said, look to aim. I'm explaining what that meant.
I'm just saying, we can get into the actual ride if you want, but I'm fine to hang out here in the queue for now.
Okay, geez, he loves this queue. Motherfucker loves this queue.
It's the last fun thing I had on this ride.
That's your problem. I like Derick, just to be clear. I'm about to destroy him, but I like Derick, though. I still like Derick.
Okay, so yeah, you go back downstairs, and now it's finally time to get into your Mario Kart, which of course every cart looks like the Mario Kart, which is kind of lame to me. I think
that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I'd like to see more variation.
I mean, you just make it green. That's the Luigi car, and that's and then people be like, oh, I got the Waluigi car. Haha, this is so funny. Like that. That is, you are completely right. That is one of the small things this could have done differently.
Yeah, because there's so many carts, like you could like really vary it up a bit, like make one look like, Peach's motorcycle, make another one look like Donkey Kong's cart, get the Link cycle in there, do something cool.
Well, but I mean, and even more of an interesting decision is that like they didn't make some, so essentially you and one other Mario Kart are going through at the same time. And you are competing both against the other people in your cart and also the rival cart. But they didn't make one of you Team Bowser and one of you Team Mario. Even though Team Bowser can win in the end, it's always the humans, the player characters are always Mario, and the AI is always Bowser. Yeah. So I think one of the things like Radiator Springs Racers does right is that it feels like you're really racing with those randos. And so it kind of adds an extra little competitive thrill. That they kind of could have done here.
I was going to really bring up Radiator Springs Racers because that is what I would have loved to see with this ride is, like you said, you're directly competing with someone at the end. You're kind of like yelling at them, like, hey, like, we're beating you or whatever. You're going up against them. So it's a head-to-head thing instead of just kind of this like vague perception of like Bowser you can kind of see on your 3D glasses, but not really. And also, since we're about to go on the ride, the thing that Radiator Springs Racers does that this ride does not do is go more than half a mile per hour. That ride goes quickly. You feel like you are in a race.
Well, okay. Wait, hold on. So first of all, you're not in a race, Derick. You're sitting in a car, and if you win or lose the Radiator Springs Racers, you had nothing to freaking do with it.
Yeah, but you're getting the effect of it. You feel like you're in a race rather than just being like in a slow-moving vehicle. Well, this ride feels less intense than Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which came out in the 50s. I feel more like I'm in an intense race going through the streets of London with a drunk toad that gets sent to hell than I do in this ride where I am just kind of meandering, looking around in a awkward to use, like on rails shooter.
Well, I mean, the toads in this ride could have been drunk. You don't know. Okay.
That's true. That's true.
Who could tell? Who could tell?
I feel like I should have downloaded like a buzzer or something.
You can just go, and then Derick will shut up.
Or you're the one who keeps jumping in all the time.
All right, before we get started on the ride, let's read the official description from Universal Studios Hollywood.com. It says, ready to experience Mario Kart like never before? Put on the special goggles and battle Team Bowser alongside Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach on Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. You'll steer through underwater courses and courses in the clouds, collecting coins and throwing shells to win the Golden Cup. Everywhere you look, you're in the game on this groundbreaking ride with cutting-edge technology. Compete as an individual and as part of a team while you play along with your favorite Super Mario characters. Multiple outcomes and the chance to raise your score mean Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge is more fun each time you ride. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go. See, it's done. It's more fun every time you ride. So Derek going up 5 more times, and then
Yeah.
he'll be having.
It didn't say that. It didn't say more fun. It just said different.
It said more fun. I was paying attention. You said more fun. It's more fun every time you ride.
More
According
funner?
to more funner. Yes, it's the funnest.
I guess it did say more fun. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. See, 1 point for Jaymo. There we go. I'm ahead.
This is not minigame minute, Jaymo. You don't
Not
get to
even.
award yourself points for no reason.
Well, I mean, I can. They don't do anything, but it's like, whose line is it anyway? Points.
It's gotta be coins because it's Mario, right?
Right.
So Taylor, do you want to go through like each section of the ride? I know that's kind of what you usually do on your episodes when you're breaking down a ride like this.
Yeah. Wait,
well, can I say real fast conceptually, like before we get into the ride, or should I save that for the end? Like what I think about the concept of this ride, or was that something for the end?
You can go ahead and say it now. I think.
Yeah, I'm curious. I want.
Okay, because as Jaymo said, there are a lot of missed opportunities, and I feel like this is really conceptually muddled. Where it's like, hey, instead of being like, hey, we're racing 2 people against each other like Radiator Springs, you're going up against somebody else, you're trying to beat their points. It's trying to be like, oh, you're going up against these people, but you're also going up against Bowser, and this is a race, but actually it's not, it's an on-rail shooter. So it feels like I'm trying to do Mario Kart, but it's actually like, no, you're not doing Mario Kart a race, you're doing the coin battle mode, which is a mode that I played a lot also in Mario Kart. But that's completely different than racing. So do you want me to think that I am racing, or do you want me to think that I'm in coin battle? Because the ride cannot decide.
And I will agree with you that it lacks the clarity of purpose of something like Radiator Springs Racers, where it's like, oh, you prepare for the race, then you race. Hey, you won or lost the race, right? There is a lot going on, both conceptually and everywhere you look. And sound-wise, it is very chaotic. And I kind of feel like that is a reflection of what Mario Kart has become. Because like Mario Kart World has gotten some flack, and even my students, my teenagers who, their attention's all over the place. And even they are like, 24 racers is kind of a lot at once. And I'm into it. I love the chaos. I love the madness of it. I'm not particularly good at this game/ride. We'll get to that later. But I love the cornucopia of things to see in any given room. And it's because of that I'm more forgiving of the fact that since this was a ride built essentially for kids, right? Like, Derek, I assume you go on the Winnie the Pooh ride and you bitch and moan about how slow it is, right? Those honeypots don't move fast enough.
No, because that ride is not pitched as a high-speed racing game. Tigger doesn't come on and be like, wow, we've got to get here before the Huffalumps and Woozles go!
But how cool would that be if he did?
Well, I would love that. That would be cool. I would be down for that.
So just paint Winnie the Pooh over this ride, and then Derek loves it immediately. But like, I really think they had a choice, with the limited space they had to build this ride at the various locations, combined with knowing that like 5 and 6-year-olds really love Mario. And we're going to want a ride that the whole family can enjoy, because if a little kid can't go on the Mario ride, that's really bad for branding. Like just imagine the little kids crying out in front of this ride, being posted on social media. I think Nintendo made a conscious choice to make the speed and the thrills more simulated to make it more accessible to the whole family.
And I think there's a way to do that without it being boring. Like I said, I think the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which is a ride that little kids can go on, is more interesting and exciting than this ride. You do, even though you're going slow on that ride, feel speed. And a lot of those Fantasyland dark rides, Peter Pan, you feel like way more interested in and immersed. You talked about, you said you think there's a lot going on. I did not get that vibe at all. There's a lot of people flying across my screen. But if you actually look in the ride itself, it's pretty barren.
No, not barren.
I would say so. I think it's there's no animatronics. There's barely any theming. It's all just backdrop for your goggles.
It's kind of minimalist. Okay, so Taylor, I'm going to paint you a word picture. Okay. So forget everything Derek just said. Okay. So
that's got to be your only argument to win this debate.
I get to use
forget everything I've said.
I get that card one time. I've used it. So when your Mario Kart starts to move from the queue, you go through this hallway, and it says time to practice your aim, and you shoot your little shells at little caricatures of Mario racers, right? So it's Bowser, but it looks like a cardboard cutout of Bowser. And there is I think it's kind of almost like a fake out, because for a second I'm like, oh God, this is what the ride's gonna look like. It's gonna look like I'm shooting at virtual paper targets. But then once you leave that tunnel and the Mario Kart startup theme, and then like the bink, bink, right? And all the Mario
cloud guy drops down.
The cloud guy drops down, and from all sides of you, all of your Mario friends, Bowser and Luigi and Peach, they're all pulling up beside you. And yeah, they are projected using augmented reality, so they're kind of transparent, right? It almost looks like you're surrounded by ghosts or whatever. But I don't know how else you would make this ride augmented reality without it being so hard on the eyes. And so then you gather at the starting line, Lakitu, dings you down, lights green, you launch forward, and you're like, oh my, here we go. And then this portcullis drops right in front of you after about 2 seconds of acceleration. And that's when you turn into the first room. So it's kind of a fake out, like Derek would, I imagine upset Derek, because for a second you think this ride's going to feel fast paced. And then they literally slam on the brakes and turn you to the left, and take you into the first area that's based on Royal Raceway and Mario Circuit. So Derek, you're very anti-screen ride. Would you have liked it if it felt more like the Simpsons ride, where you are in front of a screen the entire time, but it feels faster?
I don't love the Simpsons ride either, honestly. I liked it a lot more when it was the Back to the Future ride. I'm not completely anti-screen ride, but I think when that becomes your only thing, which is what's been going on with Universal, each ride has used screens more and more and more, to the point where this ride is just screens, and the physical stuff doesn't matter at all. It's really taken me out of it. It's almost the way that I think of CG in movies, where CG is a great tool. It is an incredible tool for filmmakers. Just like these screens in these rides can be a great tool to fill in the gaps and do stuff that you could not do practically with, actual animatronics. But when that is all it is, then that's when the problem is. Then, thinking about like the Secret Life of Pets ride, there's some screens on that. They do some really cool stuff where like there's, you see like out the windows, you see out the background and stuff like that. But there's also animatronics of like dogs and like Kevin Hart as a bunny and like all these things happening all around me and fireworks shooting off. I feel like I'm in something physical in a way that I never do here. And you brought up like, oh, it's this fast-paced start. The start is so... I hate the start so much, because it's supposed to be like... You're supposed to feel like this is a fast-paced start, because it's just showing you there's screens on all, 3 sides of you, forward, back, and both sides, and it's whoosh, rushing past. Meanwhile, you're going inching forward the speed of a fart, and it takes you out of it so much.
I don't know. Taylor, have you looked at like the starting area? Because I don't get how Derek is saying it's all just screens. There are quite a few like physical sets and not very elaborate animatronic, but there's moving pieces in the physical track itself.
Yeah, I mean, the starting area is like it's a castle kind of area with it says Mario Kart over the top. And, there's a big gate that is a physical gate with the screen inside of it. So yeah, there's definitely physical sets, and then when you go around the corner, there's like Bowser statues coming out of the wall and turrets and a giant chomp.
I do like the chain chomp. The chain chomp I think is a nice touch, and it's just something I wish there was more of in this ride. Stuff like that.
Well, and what I love though is that the projections you're seeing in augmented reality, right? So it's like Astro Blasters, but Buzz Lightyear, which is also a ride I do enjoy. I talked about it on our episode with Taylor recently. you shoot something in Astro Blasters, the little dot goes from green to red, right? Or maybe if it's like the Men in Black ride, like the animatronic goes like, "Rawr," right? But like in this one, when you hit one of the Koopa kids with your shell, he goes spinning and coins pop up. And I'm also seeing where Derek's shells are shooting, because the ride's not just keeping track of my fire, it's keeping track of all the people in my cart. So it feels like this multiplayer experience that rides like Astro Blasters don't really pull off. Astro Blasters, you're kind of playing by yourself and then you see whose score was better. This one, though, I was much more conscious of what my fellow players were doing, so it felt more gamified. And my favorite part are the moments where the augmented reality projections, we'll call them, interact with the physical set. So like the Bowser statues. Well, if you ride this ride with no visor, you're just like, okay, that's a cool Bowser portcullis. Put the visor on. Now those things are shooting lasers, and the laser is just seen through the visor. Or like the piranha plant that's actually chomping. There's an actual animatronic piranha plant. Put the visor on, that thing's spitting fireballs at you that you have to intercept with your shells to not get hit and lose coins. And there's even like a thwomp, one of those big block guys that goes and lands in front of you. Well, put your visor on, Toad gets squished under that thing. And you would never know that, unless you hit it and like save Toad and stop it from happening. So like there is this level of interactivity that I think makes this ride really special.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because I don't know that there's a video that I could watch where you actually are looking through the goggles. But
I mean, I've got one pulled up if you want me to send it to you.
Can you put it in the chat?
Yeah, Attractions 360. It does the first half where there's nothing in it, but then like the end of the video does skip ahead to like the glasses being on.
And just know, Taylor, before you see this, it does look better, actually. It's like it was designed for human eyeballs, not an iPhone camera held up to the visor.
Well, sure, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, but some people in comments, though, they'll be like, oh, it looks like, crap or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's not what it looks like in person.
It does look better than that. I don't think it looks great still, but it's definitely, it's hard to capture what you're seeing, with like, a camera.
Is it the transparency of the characters that gets you, Derek? The fact that you can kind of see through all of them so it doesn't really feel like that's Bowser in front of you?
That's a big part of it, and also it's the same thing I was talking about with the beginning of the ride and how everything, they are all like this fast-paced, crazy thing. You're shooting shells and they're going fume, 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 and then, but like, you are at the same time slowly inching through like a cloud or like, down, a tunnel or whatever. And so they are going fast, but your physical experience is you're seeing the world going so slow.
Yeah, no, I definitely get what Derek's saying looking at this video. Like this moves at like the pace of the Little Mermaid ride.
Yes.
And so, yeah, if it's trying to simulate, a Mario Kart race, you would expect some more speed.
Now, I thought about this, and I kind of think I figured out how they could make this ride if they ever refurbish this thing. Derek, you'd love this, right? What if they literally just made the carts go at least twice as fast, but you do 2 laps? And on the second lap, what you're seeing through the visor changes.
I mean, that I would really appreciate it going faster. I would also really appreciate, or they could also just straight up just make this like coin battle. Like, I think that would be, if they stopped like hedging their bets and being like, well, we need to make it a race because it's Mario Kart, but we also don't want it to go fast, so we're going to make it coin racing and make that the focus. If they actually made this, instead of trying to make it theme like this is fast paced, be like, no, like we are in a coin battle, or like a shell battle. Like, make it like have some conviction in the system you're designing.
So just call it Mario Kart Battle, and don't pretend you're racing. Pretend it's just like a kind of Twisted Metal sort of car combat situation.
Right, because that's what they're trying to do with the whole augmented reality thing. They're not trying to make it like Radiator Springs Racers. They are trying to make it like Astro Blasters or like Midway Mayhem.
So what about the turning?
That it's fast.
Yeah. And then so the turning, I'm guessing because the speed is so physically slow, the turning doesn't do anything for you.
The turning didn't really do anything, especially because you're not really doing it. It's just like, it's just a thing that you can hit and get some more coins. If it was actually you're like really controlling the cart, that would be cool. but it's not. Once again, it's just like, it's just the thing to be like, oh, you're seeing a little flashing thing on your screen to go this way. You just turn your wheel, and then okay, you got some coins. But I don't feel like I actually turned or did anything in that situation.
Did either of you boys ever play Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on the Sega CD?
No.
That is too deep a cut for me.
Okay, so this is going to make sense to exactly 2 of your listeners, Taylor. But there was a Power Rangers game on the Sega CD, and all it was the first 3 episodes of the TV show. And as you're watching, little arrows would appear so that, like, when a Power Ranger punched a putty, you'd have to press the B button. And whether you pressed it at the right time or not would not change the progression of the scene. You just got a score at the end for how well you synced up with the Power Rangers episode. And I loved that game. It was so corny, but you know what?
Sounds terrible.
Yeah,
Taylor,
no, that explains why you love this ride.
I'm a
like
cheap
this awful game.
I'm a cheap date, you guys. I'm easy to please. Just show me some flashing colors and give me some arrows. I'm good.
Okay, can you shoot shells at the other car?
But you can shoot shells at the Mario racers, who are your allies, and the Bowser racers. And I always do really badly on this ride/game. And it's usually because I accidentally end up hitting Mario or Luigi or Toad or whatever.
It's hard not to. I definitely hit them a few times too, because they you just see, all this is happening. You have to be so reactionary and just shoot all your shells, which also it kind of makes me annoyed that you can just very quickly run out of shells and you have to just sit there and wait and not do anything to get another item box. But then you get your shells, and then somebody will quickly go in front of you. Like, oh, I need to shoot. And then it's like, oh, that was Peach. Sorry, that wasn't Koopa or whatever. So it is very easy to hit the wrong person, and you get 1 coin from hitting a bad guy. You lose 5 coins from hitting a good guy, which feels unnecessarily punishing to me.
Well, you also get 10 coins for hitting Bowser, though.
Okay, I didn't even realize that. So that's at least offsets it a little bit.
And aside from being bad at this game/ride, can I just call it a gride? I'm getting tired of saying games. A gride.
I don't like the sound of that.
I don't like
gride. Come on, gride with me, guys. Aside from just being bad at this thing, I was trying to earn achievements because, Taylor, in Mario Land, you can buy the power-up bands that outside of the ride make the Mario Land come to life. It's how you punch a question block and it lights up and a coin sound happens. It's how you play these mini games with like a giant animatronic piranha plant, and you're running around and you're having to hit these alarm clocks to keep the piranha plant from waking up. And all of these little key challenges are working towards defeating the boss of Nintendo World, which is Bowser Jr. But I won't get into that because you said we're just going to focus on this ride. But in Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, your power-up band keeps track of your score, and there are in-game achievements, and one of them is finding and hitting the secret question mark block in each secret area, which apparently is worth 30 coins, but I looked everywhere and could not find them. I don't want to look it up, I feel like that ruins the fun. But I love the idea that somewhere in this Mario-themed physical room, they've tucked away a question mark block. I just got to know how to angle my augmented reality glasses to see it and what time to look. Is that making sense? Yeah.
Yeah, provided that your band that you paid a huge upcharge for actually works and connects to your thing, because it did not, but that did work out well for you because it did link up to mine, so you got to use my abilities to get you some achievements.
Yeah, my little RF chip reader was not working, and I'm not going to ask the Universal excuse me, can you stop the ride and make everyone wait so I can use my power-up band? I'm not going to be that 42-year-old guy, but I did reach over and attach mine to Derek, so I got to reap his good score. And you keep track of your achievements in the little Mario Land app. And so Derek, got a few rare ones for me. I appreciate it. He hit 10 enemies in a row without missing. So Derek, it's interesting. This is a real Mike and Street Fighter 2 situation because you don't like this, but you're quite good at this ride. He had the high score of everyone in our cart and everyone else in the other cart. So he was first out of 8.
Oh, impressive.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. Because while I might not love this ride, I do love winning. I am very competitive, and if you could not tell from the way that I am reacting to Jaymo after threw this gauntlet down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, watching this video with the AR, it is a lot. It's very. I mean, I don't know how it is in person, but just in a video at least, it is overwhelming.
Yeah. It's very chaotic.
It's very you're getting the gist of how it feels to be on this ride. This is doing it justice. Watching the video.
Okay, I do like the Rainbow Ridge section.
Okay, well, wait. We can't jump to that because there's so many cool moments that we've just blown right past.
Excuse
So-
me. Look who's hosting now.
Hey, wait a minute. Okay, wait. Give me my 30 seconds here. Wait a minute. So, I think the coolest part of this ride, did you see, Taylor, the Twisted Mansion, Luigi's Mansion Haunted section?
I did.
I thought that's so cool. And then there's actual candelabras, swinging around. And there's that cool, looking down the hallway and it looks like it's twisting. And then there's boos attacking, and then, you go through up into the clouds and there's actual wind blowing in your face. And there's, Bowser, ships launching bullets at you and everything. So, like, I do feel like there's this kind of feeling of escalation leading up to the fight against Bowser. And Derek, if I can just throw you a bone for a second, I really wish the big Bowser boss had been an animatronic.
Yeah.
You're talking about like the lava Bowser?
The lava Bowser, yeah. And to defeat lava Bowser, everyone has to launch as many shells as they can at it. But him getting destroyed is not a foregone conclusion. Like, if everyone in the cart decides we just want to see the bad ending, you can just let him hit you. And then, as Taylor you were alluding to, we get to Rainbow Road after that boss fight, and you collect the Power Star. So Taylor, you said you liked it?
Yeah, I mean, it's very cool how it it makes the track appear, and then all of a sudden you're on the Rainbow Ridge. And I don't know how it makes you feel if you're going faster, because you do have the track moving under you, Derek.
I mean, it's this at least works a little better for that illusion because, I mean, while there are stationary stars in the distance, since stars are supposed to be so far away, it doesn't matter. Since there's less around you, it is a kind of boring room without anything, if you're not like looking through the goggles. But it doesn't take me as much out of it because I'm not looking at how fast the statue or slow the statue is next to me. Since it's all just the screen, I do actually feel like I'm going a little bit faster in this room, and they're projecting the floor going beneath me. So this is the one time where I think they do a good job of kind of tricking you to making you think you're going fast.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I didn't really realize till you guys put it that way, but the sensation of speed is because of the floor projected moving beneath you. So it kind of tricks the brain in a way that no other part of the ride does. I think it's a really cool finale to end on, though, because after Lava Bowser collapses, there's a moment of just darkness and the item block is breaking in front of you, and then there's the Power Star. And for a second, all the music dies out. You collect the Power Star, and then the Power Star music kicks in, and the fireworks in the shape of the Mario characters from Mario Kart 64 are passing by you. And then, you come in for a landing and it says either Team Bowser wins or Team Mario wins. And I just love that there's a way to lose to Bowser in the Mario ride. That just tickles me.
Yeah, it is funny that winning is not a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this room reminds me of, those when you walk through a fun house or something, and there's the bridge where the room spins, but if you just close your eyes, you're actually the bridge you're on just goes straight.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
And there is a moment where I'm going fast, finally.
And then it's over.
And then, it's like, wow, okay. And then the ride's done.
Yeah, in this video, Team Bowser won.
Yeah, and isn't Mario kind of pouting next to him?
No, he just kind of he got hit by a Koopa kid and flew off into the distance.
Mario's dead.
He just yeeted him. So then we, and so of course, it empties out into the gift shop, and Derek is talking all kinds of trash because this is my ride, and Derek doesn't even like this ride, and he more than doubled my score. And so we find in the gift shop the Universal Studios Mario Kart trophy, and we take a picture of it, of Derek holding it and me all pouty. And then Derek's putting it back on the shelf, and I can see he's got this kind of little pout on his face. I'm like, "You want me to buy that for you, don't you?" And he's like, "Well, I did win." So
You're making it sound like I was just like, "Please, Jaymo."
I mean, that's
You owe me this.
But Derek is such a good sport in all senses of the word, and so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm buying this. But if we ever do this ride again and I win, I get the trophy back. Like we're gonna compete for this thing.
Yeah.
And what other ride has that? Radiator Springs, no trophies, done.
Right. It's another upcharge that makes it a little more fun.
I mean, yeah, that's how they get you.
You know, I just saw the wand show for the first time, where they just guilt trip this poor family into buying a $60 Harry Potter wand because you've been chosen. Like, and I don't know. The thing about the power up bands is that yeah, it's an upcharge. It's $40, which it sucks, but it's also a fully functional amiibo for whatever character you pick. And so, Taylor, do you mess with amiibos at all?
I know what they are, but no, I don't mess with them.
Yeah, so like, they unlock content in a bunch of games. So like I got the Toad one. So now like in Mario Party, when I pick Toad, I have special costumes, or I get a special car to race in Mario Kart. And it's always like, it unlocks Toad content in a bunch of games. And so I'm like, okay, I like that if you're gonna sell me the crappy upcharge souvenir, at least there's some functionality outside of the park as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Because like my brother bought the power up thing for web slingers that's supposed to give you extra, like you can shoot missiles or whatever, and it's literally like just for the ride.
Yeah. That feels worse.
This ride is like this is the Citizen Kane of rides compared to friggin' web slingers. I hate web slingers.
Okay, so we both agree it's a good ride. I think we're done here, right?
Yeah, web slingers is a whole other monster, but so yeah, I don't know. It seems a little overwhelming for me.
Oh, I'm not liking the sound of this.
Can I say one more thing too about like because Jaymo was talking about like the gamification of it, and I will say that it's nice that you have your little shooter as like just a button on your wheel, but I think that I don't know about you, Jaymo. Maybe it worked for you, but I really hated the way that you have to aim in this game because it is based on your line of sight. So sometimes you have to like awkwardly. It's just you have to like awkwardly line up your face with whatever you're trying to shoot, crane your neck. I really thought that was weird. That was like, and rather than like all these other rides where it's like you have a gun, you point, you shoot. You have to like your gun is your eyeballs. That really didn't work for me. That and the fact that for whatever reason your ammunition is limited, so you can't just go all out and shoot and have a bunch of fun. You have to be like weird and like all these things are happening so quick, and you get caught up in the moment. You're like, oh well, I'm out of green shells. I just will sit here bored on the ride until I get another item box. So those two elements really didn't work for me when it came to the actual
You can
game.
run out of items?
Yeah, you have like a limited amount of shells, and then it's like, oh, you got 5 more. Okay, be careful with those, and then you got it. You get them over the course of the ride. You refill it, but then you will run out of them and have like a stretch of like half a minute or longer where you just can't do anything.
I first of all, I think that the aim with your eyeballs, I don't know how else you do this because your hands are supposed to be on the steering wheel. Like it's Mario Kart, right? Like Mario Kart with a gun in hand, I feel like that's a different game. So I don't mind that, but I definitely think that the limiting your shells, limiting your ammunition, I think was an attempt at tension building because first of all, you're supposed to be excited when you go through the item box and go, okay, no more shells, I get to shoot again. But like you said, the trade-off is that you're sitting there kind of bored and sad as you're waiting for the next item box. And then at the end of the ride, before you take on Lava Bowser, you get 20 shells from that item box. Oh my God, full auto, go for it, But I do think it would just be common sense that, like, let's say when you run out, make it so that now you shoot slower, but it still always is refilling. Like, don't let your rider sit there wishing they were having fun. So I do agree with you that I had a moment on this most recent ride through where I was like, well, Derek looks like he's having a good time. Oh, no, he's not.
You make it like you get red shells when you go through the thing, and then you run out and you just have the regular.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
green
And
shells.
then the red shells would have like aim assist, so you're hitting
Mhm.
those targets much easier, and it's all empowering.
Yeah, and they go around. They don't hit your allies or something like that. There's things you could do.
Yeah, a blue shell towards the end that like wipes out all the Bowser kids like in one shot. Like, and also and you bring up there's things there could do. Like, I wish they would do things like, oh, like this is all AR projections. So how about during the Halloween season, all the kart racers have Halloween costumes on, or maybe like there's booze everywhere. Like I feel like there's a very easy way to theme this ride based on the holiday using only the projections. Universal, are you listening? You can have that for free, okay? I just want to go on a themed ride of Mario Kart. I think that'd be fun.
With booze everywhere.
With booze everywhere. Yeah, booze everywhere.
It's just drunk driving.
That's Mr. Toad. We already talked about that.
There we go. There we go.
I mean, so for me, 99 times out of 100, I'm going to go physical over any kind of AR or projection or anything like that.
Don't say it.
And I would love to have an actual Mario Kart racing game, to Derek's point. And like, as far as this goes, I would love it if you could throw shells at the other car. And I don't know if this is too pie in the sky, but like if you could throw a shell at the other car and if you hit it, it would spin.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome.
It's almost like if they made there to be less AR projections and then they add ideas like that, so that you almost don't even see the other car because there's so much in front of your face.
Yeah, I kind of completely forgot about them. And like you said, the driving is just another thing where it's like, yeah, it's Mario Kart. You should be driving. You're not.
Would it be cool? Like, I don't know how you do this, but like, what if like when you all turn properly, then the cart sped up a little? Like that could be neat.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying, give it a chance.
It would be better than what we got.
I mean, I definitely want to ride it. Next time I go to Universal, whenever that is, I definitely want to try it. But from what I've seen, it does not seem like a ride that I am going to ride more than once. I'm sorry, Jaymo.
No, it's okay. You're still Nintendo. I take that as a win.
Yeah, just the 3D stuff. Like I said, it makes me queasy. I don't know how this would affect me, but and just there's, like you said, there is so much going on, and there's like you said, ghosts. There are other cars, but it looks like just ghosts flying around you. And I guess you can throw shells at them, but you're not supposed to.
Well, half of them.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of stuff for me to remember on a ride.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. It's like, why not just let me hit all of them, because it's Mario Kart, and like I'm always hitting Peach with shells. I don't get punished for it in the game.
Yeah, it should be a free for all.
Right.
And you should be trying to hit everybody so you can win.
And one last thing I will say too is, I think this is the only ride I've ever been on where I enjoy the queue more than I enjoy the actual ride.
Okay, but that's a really good queue.
It is a really good queue. It got me very hyped up for a very disappointing ride.
So what you're saying is I should just go through the queue, and then when I get to the front, just be like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I just wanted to check out that Miyamoto's sign thing.
I mean, just run down the exit hallway. You'll get a better sensation of speed. But then, I don't know if you want to talk about another episode, Taylor, if you ever hit it, but like there's so much cool stuff going on in the Mario Land surrounding it. And Derek and I did like the boss fight thing and like the Bowser's challenge and all that. Not Bowser Jr.'s Shadow Showdown. Yeah, even if nothing else, like I think the facade and the outside exterior of this ride really adds to the atmosphere of that Nintendo Land area. So is it perfect? Are there things I wish they did differently? Absolutely. But I really appreciate this ride.
I would love to see just kind of a reskinned Radiator Springs Racers as a Mario Kart ride.
That'd be cool.
And you could just put you could have a banana peel in the middle of the ride, and like you hit the banana peel and your car does a quick spin and then just keeps going. Like there's a lot of fun stuff you could do with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm declaring Derek the winner.
Yes.
Fake news.
He gets to keep his trophy.
Yes.
For now. I'm coming for that bad boy. I'm going to get it back.
All right. So Derek, you get to go first. You want to go ahead and plug your podcast?
Sure, yeah. So I usually talk about things that most people do not enjoy that I enjoy over on my podcast, Underrated, the Underrated Movie Podcast. If you guys want to check it out, where I talk about films that are underrated, underappreciated, or under the radar. I do a couple other podcast things as well, including my Marvel show, Infinity Stones and Dragon Bones, and the Midnight Film Society. You can find all of that by going to underratedmoviepodcast.com or following Underrated Movie Podcast on any of the social medias, or just looking up that podcast however you're listening to this.
And Jaymo?
Yeah, thanks for having us, Taylor. This was really fun. I host the Old SwitchAroo, Gaming Retro with Mike and Jaymo. We are working our way through every game in the Nintendo Switch Online Nintendo Classics catalog. We are about to air our 100th game with actually Taylor, March 25th.
Nice.
His episode about Earthbound is out. It's really awesome, so be sure to check it out. Derek has been on many times talking about Zelda and Pokemon Snap and Kirby. And then also my co-host Mike is going to appear on one of Taylor's other podcasts. But if you want to check out Old SwitchAroo, www.theoldswitcharoo.com. Got a link to all of our social medias, our Discord, our website. So check it out. And we would love to have you join our community and maybe be on a future season.
Yeah, and you can hear me on both those podcasts, so you can go look for that. All right, guys. Well, thanks. This was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll see if I can do some more of these kind of battle episodes, because this was interesting.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah,
When Jaymo gave it to me, I was like, all right, I'm down.
Yeah, I thought I had you for a second. We really loved that cue. So I was like, okay, this is looking good for me.
and
then you know what's the downfall? You pulled up that YouTube video and you saw it in action. You're like, oh.
Yeah, if I just hadn't seen it, then maybe you would have had a chance.
Go on the ride and close your eyes.
Because the idea of a Mario Kart ride sounds awesome.
Immaculate. Yeah. Perfect.
All right, guys. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Your attention, please. This episode of Wild Mouse has concluded. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and follow us on social media at Wild Mouse Podcast. Don't forget to visit the gift shop at wildmousepodcast.com. For exclusive bonus content, become a premium pass holder at patreon.com/wildmousepodcast. We hope you enjoyed your time and will visit us again soon. Thank you and good night.